Howdy, howdy, howdy. Samir here. And these clips that I'm about to show are of me climbing over a year ago. And I've had a lot of injuries since then. But looking back at these videos, I've realized how much more of my technique could be a little bit better. And also how much stronger I've gotten since then in terms of my finger strength. I'm not saying I'm super strong at that at all. I'm super weak still. I still avoid overhangs, and I'm trying to be better to not avoid all that. I like doing dynamic moves, coordination moves. I'm not good at coordination moves, but I'm trying to get better at it. You can tell a little bit from my footwork that it's still a work in progress. But overall, it's just a good journey up until now, right? And having a lot of fun in between, even through all the injuries. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. And any flappers that may come in. And the grades that I'm giving right now is what I see the tags are and what I remember. But also, if I remember the grade, I'll give it the grade. But all these grades are what I remember the feeling of the climb was. So you didn't see that dab there because I didn't. I didn't touch the floor at all. I obviously touched the floor. But yeah, this was very crimpy. And like even this hold right here with a bunch of holes, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be, even though it's big. It looks like just huge jugs. And at this point in time, I'm not really good at crimps. I'm not really good at body positioning. I'm still not. There's a lot of things I need to prove on. But it's just nice seeing the way that I try to solve problems, right? I always think it's very interesting seeing new people climb because they just brute force that thing. And that's what it feels like I'm doing right here. Except for this one. This one, I'm like twinkle toes. And I enjoyed solving this one because having to do this swap of the feet just to get my foot up and feel comfortable and then pushing is really nice to like read the boulder before getting to it. This one right here, I hated committing to what is going to be shown as a dyno pretty soon because these two volumes kind of push me out. And I have to figure my way up to get up there. And I was too scared to commit with both hands. So that was part of the issue. Here are a couple of my attempts of doing this boulder again and how many times I failed and not being able to stick this move. And it's very frustrating when the moves that I've done before I can't do again or can't replicate. Just means probably I'm not doing the right beta to actually solve the problem because it should feel kind of smooth, especially with my strength, right? And this one right here, I hated this one. It's a coordination move where I have to like just stand up, right? Obviously, if I stand up, get my glutes in and press up to make sure I'm able to do it. Some people were able to do this statically because of their wingspan. But there's this blue hole that keeps my right foot from getting up, and I keep getting pushed out from that, and a couple other things, and it's just me jumping for joy at this point. Like I'm just jumping for joy, and yeah, this was a very frustrating climb for me. And if you want to even call it was a climb, because it was not. I did not climb anything. So I decided to boost my ego a bit and say that I can climb with this new orange boulder, and I would grade it around a V3. Has some pretty nice slopers, get some crimps in there. There's this big black hole that is in the way in the final move, but overall, like I think it's a good intro climb to get into little crimpier holds, even though it's not super small for the harder climbs, harder graded climbs. This right here in the dihedral, I think that's what it's called, in this little corner, It was freaking annoying. And usually in these dihedral type of climbs, I notice a lot of drop knees and a lot of like maneuver of the hips and whatnot. So I try to apply it here, and I don't know if that's necessarily the way to go, but anything that I did not feel right in this corner at all. Trying to get to that undercling bowl looking thing, and also like the next hold next to it. Yeah, it is really good hold next to it. I touched it at one point, but yeah, this was a very frustrating climb. Everything that I'm showing right now is very frustrating because I'm not completing a lot of these climbs and whatnot. This was a really fun climb. This was a little cool dyno, really intro to get into some pretty good holds. This climb right here was very annoying. I don't know what it was graded as, but if I had a grade, it would be a V4 because of the last move, and it's a slight overhang, not super big. And there's these horseshoe holds that I can never figure out. Shout out to my homie Alex. He is the one recording me right now and was very patient with me not completing this climb and other climbs over and over, and I really appreciate him for recording me. I also want to give a shout out to a guy named Sean. He's a very strong climber. They're both very strong climbers, very, very strong and very technical. I assume that they can climb some V8s by now, since I see them climb V6s and V7s pretty consistently. So I assume they're strong enough to climb some V8s, maybe some V9s. I'm not too sure, but both are very strong technical climbers, and I appreciate them and whatnot. So I think this is the one where I actually did it because of this. Oh, this is Sean right here. He's a very strong climber. Yeah, so he taught me that little foot on the side gig, and I should have applied it to this climb right here. This V4 seemed very doable. It didn't seem like too difficult, but I will say this volume right here is not the best to stand on because how it pushes me out and whatnot. And I couldn't figure out the foot positioning for this match at the end. What I should have done was the same thing as I did with the previous yellow climb, where I put my right foot on that last sloper that I have. That's nothing's on there. But what I tried to do was basically move my foot forward a bit, and I dabbed the white hold. But yeah, this is just me figuring out the body positioning and whatnot, because I'm like, dude, how do I just do it? You know, how do I just stand up and just hold both? Because I'm putting a lot of pressure on my right hand. I am flexing my forearm to the max right now, and this is where my dab happens. And I'm gonna still count it. Nature's always on, right? That's what we say in the in commercial climbing. You know, it's whatever. And there's this V5. I couldn't get this toe hook. This is my best attempt, so I just want to show it. And Alex was very patient again with this climb, and I really appreciate him. I hope everyone has a lovely day. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Yeah, come on. Aww.